it's funny because that can almost like what you're saying there can kind of transition the more theoretical side of things of like writing a popular song into the kind of like, but let's be honest, there are tons of tricks of the trade to writing like a popular song. There are things that you remind yourself of, and it brings me to like some of these things. Basker used to have these like 3 rules, which I thought were, and these are 3 rules that he would then say like.
This is Jeff Basker, who you came up
Jeff
under as an
Basker, that I was kind of I was his assistant, and then he signed me to a production deal, and then we wrote Cam Burning House together, which was my first kind of like hit single, and then he introduced me to Harry, so he was, he really kind of trained me in all things, and he would have 3 things that he learned from this guy who teaches at UCLA. I think his name's Steve Lindsay or something. And of course all these rules, some people I would watch him in the studio, some people would be like, nah. So it's funny because they're such loose rules. It's like I think writing a popular song is such a pseudoscience, like there's so many layers down the thing, but there still is something that's kind of tangible going on. But the 3 things that he would say would be like, which I loved, was like, make sure the lyric is like a bumper sticker lyric, which then when you think about it, you're like, oh, that makes sense. Because there's so many there's so many soft lyrics that people say. They're just like words and it's just like wordy. And then it's like
Sia talks about lyric. It like Sia said that you on the Howard Stern interview that song titles you can Google. Same sort of idea, like something that feels like shine bright like a diamond. Like
yes. Like literally that sounds like something that you could see on like one of those cars with a bunch of bumper stickers. Just one of them says shine bright like a diamond. It's not going to say, and then I felt sad. It's not something like that isn't going to be quite as, and
that's a rough bumper sticker too.
Yeah, totally. But like, it's maybe something that has some sort of like hard edges to it. But putting it in that space of like bumper sticker or Googleable, that's like one of the things to think about. Another one that I have found to be, and obviously with like As It happened, is secondary melodic hooks. So something that isn't a vocal line that lets people know, here comes the song that I love, and it doesn't have, that secondary melodic hook doesn't have to be a lead line. It could just be a drum beat. It could be We Will Rock You drums is like
great
a secondary melodic hook. It doesn't have to be boxed in like that, is what I've realized more and more. But it's like, if you listen to a lot of very popular records, not all, but there is a speed in which the amount of time that it goes, that it becomes a one-of-one song, that it avoids kind of, what song is this? What, okay, chords, generic chords, generic drum beat. Like vibey, but we're not sure what this is yet. And then, when it hits, you're like, where if it right at the top or at a very quick moment, it's like, okay, this is only one song that, could exist. And then the third point that is make music with the intention in mind, like either fucking, fighting, or dancing, I think was the 3 that and I would always be like, and just sitting around and being sad. Like, can we have that category too?
Where's emo in those 3?
Yeah. But I think that those 3 maybe are a tiny bit like, okay, like I could see how, but knowing what somebody is going to do in reaction to what you're creating is very important if you're wanting it to be popular. Now, this is not to judge just general art, but it is, if you're wanting it to be popular, some like level of like, well, what do you want people to be doing while they listen to this? Like, what are you expecting their, I think it's like, what is their part in the conversation? Like, what are you inviting them to be a part of? Not just like, well, I'm feeling this way, so I'm making this song and I don't care if people like it. That's fine. But if you're like, I want my audience to feel empowered. I want my audience to feel sad. I want my audience to feel seen. And you almost like can picture that. I do think that knowing that intention while sculpting the music, sculpting the lyrics, again, these kind of things really help come in play when the song is like up against walls or when you're reviewing it, not like, here comes vomit. Well, this is like,
yes. I was going to say one of the things that, and there's like a lot of the Swedish sort of associated with Max Martin, but really Swedish thing generally about where you start melodies and each part, one starts after the downbeat and the next part starts on the downbeat and then the chorus has a lead and you want the contrast. Like, I feel like, and then the sort of the rules you just said, I think those are all great. And for the most part, they are most useful when you're stuck on something or don't know exactly where to go with it. Then it's like, okay,
we're trying to upgrade it.
Yes. We need something here. Okay, what have we done? Well, we need to make that. We're thinking about this thing should play in a stadium, and so the bridge should have this kind of moment. Like those sort of things, I think, are important. Or this is a song we really want to bang in the club, and therefore in this section we should actually drop the beat out for a second so it hits hard on the chorus, and you can picture everybody. You can picture the music video. You can picture it in like that sort of stuff. I think is really important as like inspiration and problem solving, but not the actual creative writing part of it. Because then, at least I found, when you get into the like, we're writing and what should the next part be, and it should be, and then all of a sudden, if you're off the emotional thing and you just you're not writing anything good.
Right, 100%. But I do think the study of like music that's meant to be danceable is so nice because it does kind of remove the bullshit of like, oh, this is my art. It's like, okay, but are people dancing? Because that's like, it's kind of, it's closer to like comedy. Because I think sometimes music can be so like,
I love this. Go. Yeah.
Like a crowd at a show can all just stand stoic and not move, and then after they'd be like, "You killed it," you know what I mean? And you're like, "You guys literally just sat there and did nothing the whole show." And it's like, "Yeah, but that's what we want to do." It's like, "All right, that's fair." The reactions people can have to music are so broad, and that's the joy, that's the beauty of music. But it's like with comedy, it's like if nobody's laughing, there's nobody who's like, "You killed it." It's like you have to laugh, and I think that there are certain types of music where like they're more comfortable with the fact that like if it doesn't hit, it doesn't hit. Yeah, like it's actually like a missed shot, and I think that but I don't know if that helps answer things like popular music, because you get ballads that can be very popular, dancey songs, and that's what you're kind of getting at, is the breadth of popular music is so wide that it doesn't even have necessarily sound. It's just like what is popular. That you can have like an Adele ballad that legitimately isn't gonna make people dance. It's just like not like it in whether or not people love it, I think is going to be seen through people pressing repeat on the record, and that's about it. There's not even going to be a mood that it like hit. Like, I mean, people might cry to it. Maybe it's not even necessarily specific. Just people are going to like how it makes them feel. They're going to love how her voice. They're going to know it's this top tier shit. And they're going to just want more of it. And they're going to click on it again to all the way to the other side, which is like dance records and maybe more like subcultural things breaking through that then like become popular records. The through line between all of that, though, I think is probably it's hard to figure out. But I think in a specific type of pop music that I do, and I know you work in a lot, definitely those kind of tricks can help, I think, get something across the line in a way that, might make it sound more poppy, which is a good or a bad thing. But I think those kind of tricks, they have a tendency to, whoa, that's what that does. Yeah. And there's a lot of those out there, I think. But yeah. Those were the three that I kind of had.
Thanks for watching. Just a reminder, all of this content is free. There's no secret knowledge here. There's no Patreon. We don't read ads. We don't have sponsors. We're just trying to build a knowledge base. All that we ask in return is that you share it with somebody. Thanks so much.